Yeah, we'll be live on YouTube. So if you just go over to YouTube, Alpha Day Trading, and you guys are waiting, just refresh a couple times. Yeah, we are live in 3, 2, 1. You guys want to get prepared for today's trading session? All right, come on over. We are officially live at this point in time, and I'm gonna roll the intro inside of chats, and then let a couple of you guys come on over, get settled in, get ready for today to crush it, to have some fun, to make it happen. Fucking some profits, baby. Let's get to it. Yo, everybody on YouTube, hit me with a big old good morning. Right now, we're just rolling the intro inside a chat for members, and we're going to start getting you guys prepared for today's trading session between, again, 9 and 9:30. So, again, hit me with a good morning. We'll officially be diving into today's session here in the next about 20 seconds, guys. Glenn, what's up, boss? How we doing? Yasmin, Andy, good morning. If I don't acknowledge you, just know that I'm focused inside a chat with members, and this is an opportunity for you guys to listen, to pay attention, to get the game plans that I've established for today, all right? Make sure your quality's set to 1080p as well. Hold it down, moderators over on the tube. Appreciate you guys so much. Woo! What is good, ladies and gentlemen? What's happening? Welcome back and happy Money Monday, Alpha Nation. Good morning. It is February 27th on this beautiful Money Monday, 9:05 in the morning. And as you guys can hear my voice, I'm a little nervous right now. And I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to work with you, and I'm excited to see what we have in store today. But right now, guys, my heart is racing big time because I fat-fingered a trade here this morning on VRAR for the break of the downtrend, for the break of 5, for that squeeze. And I added just a couple too many zeros to that trade. So literally, when I get filled, I'm like, oh, I got a great entry. The stock looks like it's getting ready to break. It had a nice little 30-cent pop to it. That was me. That was my order, because you guys know how I trade in pre-market, right? I'll set an order maybe 20 cents, 30 cents over the ask for my buys, and when I sell, I'll go 20 to 30 cents below the bid. I'll create myself a spread because I know that when I click buy or sell, I'm getting filled at the bid or the ask, but I have a spread to where it simulates a market order. Right? So I have my buy set at $5. So no wonder the stock goes from $4.60, $4.70 up to $5 when I go to buy at $5 and I added a couple too many zeros to the trade. So literally, you see that volume spike, you see that gap up, that was my order going through. And I freaked the fuck out. And I was like, I got to get out. I got to get out. There's not even any volume to get out. Surprisingly, I actually got taken out at the ask because I put an order out there at $4.90 and it got like 1 of 5. It was like 1 share filled. I'm like, I'm not getting out of this, man. This is going to be impossible to get out of. But I'm surprised I actually got out for a $100 winner. It worked out great. So from a fat finger, making a boo-boo, making a mistake, get me all going this morning, I actually made $100 very luckily. So why did I start with this, right? I wanted to start here because there's always an opportunity for you guys to learn. And when there's an opportunity, I want to take the time to focus on that opportunity. Unforeseen variables, right? That is what we call an unforeseen variable. Just like a press release being dropped midday when you're in a trade and the stock drops. And you're like, what the? That's an unforeseen variable. Just like when you're in a stock and for some reason it drops and halts to the downside and it doesn't fill your stop. That is an unforeseen variable. Just when you add a couple too many zeros to your order, that's an unforeseen variable. There are going to be what we call unforeseen variables as traders that we have to account for ahead of time and make sure that we always position ourselves the best way possible and that we have things in place to be able to bounce back if we incur one of those unforeseen variables to make sure that we're positioned correctly just in case there's one of those unforeseen variables. But again, that's exactly what that was. And these things are not very common. They're rare, but they do happen. And when they do happen, you have to be on top of it to make the best decision possible at that point in time to be able to, again, have the best possible. I don't even know what I'm looking for. But again, my situation, my example here was right when I noticed I added too many zeros. I didn't say, well, let's just hold on for a second and see what happens. I got out immediately. To put this in perspective, if I would have held this and not have done anything and hesitated, right, and gave into my emotions and freaked out, I would be down like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars right now. And there's no volume to do anything with the stock. So key takeaway, if you ever encounter one of those unforeseen variables and it was not intentional, it just happens, you're like, whoa, make the best possible decision in that moment very quickly to protect yourself as much as possible. Okay, and you will bounce back. But as long as you're always positioned correctly, and you always make the best possible decisions in the market, and you're always very, very dialed in and double check your orders, these are very, very rare, not preventable, but very, very rare, but you can at least mitigate how costly they could be, for example. And again, unforeseen variable in the market, it happens, make good decisions. That was a good decision, got out instantaneously, and it worked out pretty good. So that was a reality check to make sure you always double check your orders. But anyway, guys, we got about 21 minutes until the market officially opens on up. And enough of my ranting, enough education. You guys just want to trade and make money. I get it. So let's go ahead and start officially on this beautiful Money Freaking Monday, right? February 27th, 2023, 19 in the morning with a big ol' Alpha Day Trading. Good morning! Hit me with it, traders. Hit me with it inside the chat. And we're officially going to dive into it. Talk about the top stocks of the day, what I see, what I like, and how I'm looking to trade this market, and how I'm looking to lock in some profits. Josh almost had to get a 9 to 5. Nah, not quite, but I would have given back quite a bit of my February profits, which would have been a little disappointing. So I'd had a good key takeaway, right? My key takeaway here is always double check your order before you hit submit. Something so simple, just the double check your orders could have prevented that if it was worse. So that's the takeaway, guys. So again, I always like to utilize any and every opportunity that we have as an opportunity for you guys to learn something, to apply something, to take notes, so you can really mitigate these types of things. And that's my job, to always make sure you guys are making the best possible decisions. All right, so anyway, let's dive into it. All right, Tracy, what's up? Steve, good morning. John, Javier, Tracy, Catherine, Corey, Kids King, Joey. There are way too many members inside of this beautiful community to list all your names off, but everybody, you haven't gone unnoticed. Good morning, welcome back. Happy Money Monday. I love you all. Let's dive into it. And let's make it happen, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's start with our penny stocks at this point in time. If VRAR does break above 5, we have great potential to squeeze up towards around $6.20. This is what I call a back burner sleeper play. Wow, I just spit all over my microphone. I am very saliva-y today. Back burner sleeper play. It's a stock that has great potential that just isn't getting the reaction that it should, in my opinion, in pre-market. Good press release, low float, and it's just not getting that volume, right? We are trading 2 times the average volume. Number one, we're trading 2x. That's fantastic. 9 million in float, nice and low. I mean, and the press release is good. And they've had lots of press releases over the last couple of weeks that have been good. And the stock has done relatively well off those press releases. And today's press release is not all that bad, right? So Brightline Interactive enters into a cooperative research and development agreement with the United States Naval Service Warfare Center, right? So we got a decent little press release here with VRAR, right? It's a nice low float stock, and it just has yet to get the volume. And we see there's some attention here. We're trying to get some action. We're trying to get some movement, but we're just not really getting that big time action that we would be expecting based on a decent press release like that with a low flow. With being the stock is sitting above some key support levels, and it had a pretty nice February. It had some really great action. Again, the stock from that 52-week low of 250 it ripped all the way up to like $7, all off of really good press releases and earnings that the stock has had. So I think it could be a good back burner sleeper. Add it to the back burner, 440 support. And if we ever see the stock breaking 5, that's where we could see some big time action and big time volume really move on in and send this stock back up towards around 620. And that high from the 7th of February, right around 690, right? Not the number one stock you're focused on right at the start of the day, not the number one stock you're buying right now, but it's a stock that's worth watching, in my opinion, that it could be that back burner sleeper. At the end of the day, it's at 620, 690. You're like, what the heck? What happened? Why did it move? It just kind of flies under everybody's radar, and it has potential to be that back burner sleeper. So keep VRAR on watch. I know a lot of you guys that are trading small caps are probably all over LHDX, but this stock has already made its move here in pre-market, coming up to a really, really key level of resistance, which looks like is going to be hit right before the start of the day. You see that spiking high here, 86 cents from January 3rd? That is going to be your key level of resistance here with LHDX. But if it does break that level, you could see $1, okay? You guys are asking, Josh, do I buy it now? It's got another, 10 cents to the upside. The answer to your question is absolutely not, right? Absolutely not. Look at the stock, right? It just went on this 5-minute candle from 65 cents to 77 cents, and it has yet to really pull back. Wait for the stock to pull back a little bit into support, then look for a possible entry. You're going to have some light support here off this pullback low, right around 63.5 cents. You know where resistance is. Daily resistance, spiking high from January 3rd up towards around 86 to 87 cents. And if we ever break that level, you have room to $1. So at this point in time, it's a game of patience. You got to let the stock consolidate a little bit, pull back a little bit, and then look for an entry. Kind of like here. You got that rip on up. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Consolidate, consolidate, consolidate. Breaks over the consolidation high. You can take a trade here with a plan to stop out under the consolidation low. For example, that would have been a strategy, right? Just a simple break over the consolidation high with stops under consolidation low. And on top of that, it was a 9 EMA pullback. This is a momentum-based trade. Look at the stock. It's been grinding this 9 EMA since it broke 50 cents here this morning around 8 o'clock. So that's another, indicator that you guys could utilize on this particular trade is going to be the 9 EMA on the 5-minute time frame, right? Because the 9 EMA on that 5-minute time frame, for example, is a great momentum-based indicator to be utilizing, as this stock has a lot of great upside momentum at this point in time. So that's what I would say, guys, at this point in time. This is a great stock to keep on watch, in my opinion. I think there's more upside potential, but you have to wait for that slight pullback first. You got some light support down at 63 cents. That would be a great area to see LHDX come back to bottom before seeing buyers move back in for that next leg on up. Excuse me. Again, to 86, 87 resistance. You ever break that level, pull back and retest that level for any reason, you see 86 cent support. Once we break it, if we break it, that could be a separate trade for that leg up to $1. And that's probably where the stock is going to be headed to today. Why? Well, there's nothing else really happening in the market. You look at all of these small caps, you look at all of these penny stocks. It was a pretty mild day with press releases. It's a pretty light volume day across the board. There's not tons of things moving with tons of consistency. This is one of the better looking stocks right now at this point in time. This stock has 80 to 90% of the focus. This is where 90% of the action and 90% of the opportunity, in my opinion, will be at the start of the day. So again, 63 cent support, 86 cent resistance. You break 86 cents, you have room to $1. If you ever crack below that light support level, right around 63 cents, the next best support level is back down around 50 cents. Okay? So at this point in time, get yourself your pullback into support. Wait for it to consolidate. Wait for it to find a bottom. Then look to make your entries for the next leg up. And honestly, your best thing that you could possibly do at this point in time is really utilize that 5-minute time frame, that 9 EMA, as a moving level of support, as this is a nice momentum-based trade. All right, guys, that's LHDX. And I got another nice little back burner sleeper for you. Very quickly, very briefly, make sure you guys get inside of levels to check out the analysis here on ticker AI and then BBAI at this point in time, right? If AI, and again, this is very quickly, not as thorough, but you guys inside of chat have the opportunity to check out this analysis and the game plan here in levels. Okay, you see this downtrend here on AI. If AI ever breaks this downtrend, as we've bounced off support several times, I mean, look at 21.28 support, bounce, bounce, bounce. Several times that we've bounced at that 21.28 level. Not only that, we're grinding that daily 20 EMA. Not only that, we're starting to build some higher lows. Not only that, we got a downtrend to be broken. I mean, this is a very, very high probability setup, right? AI grinding that 20 EMA as support, building some higher lows into the downtrend. That increases the probabilities that we start to break this downtrend. There could be some buyers that move on in. There could be some action to the upside ahead of earnings. Like, how many times have you seen a stock move up ahead of earnings? Well, quite a bit. We have earnings on March 2nd after the market. So this is going to be Thursday evening. We have earnings. So we can see some movement in anticipation of the earnings report on AI from today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, and hey, maybe even Thursday. We could get that break of the downtrend. We could see some buyers in action move on in ahead of earnings, and the technicals suggest some great action to the upside as well. So keep AI on high watch for the break of that downtrend for some entries. And if you guys are wondering, what else could move? Like if AI rips and runs and gets some great action, right? Josh, it's a little out of my price range. I'd have to trade options, but the options are probably going to be wacky with the spread, the week of earnings. The premiums are probably going to be larger or more expensive, again, ahead of earnings. Like, how do I still take advantage of AI if it's out of my price range and I don't really trade options? Well, look at BBAI, Big Bear AI, right? The last time that we saw AI ripping, what did BBAI do? It ripped. Look at these two charts side by side. When did we really start to pick up some volume here with AI? Well, that was around the 26th of January, and it took off until the 6th of February. So that was over a month. That was about a month. I'm sorry, the 26th of January to the 6th of February. So again, got some great action during that time. When did BBAI start to pick up on its volume? Right around the 27th to the 30th, right, of January. A couple of days after AI started the rip, and it topped out on the 6th, the same day. It's been correlating nice and tight with AI, right? AI tops out on the 6th. It's been fading on off ever since, right? BBAI, same thing. Topping on out on the 6th, fading on off ever since. So these two stocks have been correlating nice and tight together as they're both AI-related stocks. So if AI breaks and rips and gets volume, what do you think could happen with BBAI? Some sympathy movement like we've already seen over the last month and a half. That could be your opportunity, is if AI starts to rip and that's out of your price range, look to see if we get any sympathy movement, sympathy volume here on BBAI. And as long as AI is moving to the upside, you know BBAI can be moving to the upside as well. It would lag slightly behind AI. So again, look at AI. As long as it's moving, BBAI could see some sympathy. If AI ever starts to dump, you have a little bit of a heads up that, hey, BBAI could start to dump as well. Think of this like you see meme stocks, right? When AMC rips, what happens? GameStop rips. What happens? BBBY starts the rip. KOSS starts the rip. BlackBerry, BB, starts the rip, right? Those are stocks that move in sympathy to one another, right? Like when GameStop rips, AMC typically follows, right? When GameStop starts to dump the days it's moving, guess what? Those other stocks start to follow. They correlate with one another. They move in sympathy to one another. Same opportunity, same example, same idea that we could be seeing here today and this week here with AI, and then that sympathy mover being BBAI, right? To give you guys a little flexibility here and some opportunities in this market, okay? Right now, though, I know a lot of your guys' focus is going to be here with the overall market, looking at the SPY, looking at the Qs, maybe some of these larger cap stocks right now at this point in time. And what's my outlook for the SPY? Where do I think the SPY is going to be going? Well, I think first we need to discuss what we have going on today, right? We got some pending home sales data here at 10 o'clock, okay? And we know that that's going to be some economic data that could move the market, and we could see a bit of a reaction, okay? So just keep that in mind. 10 a.m., pending home sales month over month for January, and then year over year for January. It's of medium importance, right? It's not like CPI and PPI and Fed interest rate decisions, but it's economic data that could move the market. Number one. Number two, you got Fed Jefferson speaking here at 10:30. And then you do have the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index for February here at 10:30. Both of those events are of medium importance. So it's still something to keep an eye on around those times, 10 a.m. and 10:30. Do we get any kind of crazy reaction? Do we get any kind of crazy movement? Do we see more volatility move in? It's just worth noting, number one. But at this point in time, there's a couple things that you guys need to be aware of. We do look bullish at this point in time. It's crazy how you can go from bearish to bullish within one day, right? Friday, we were bearish. Why was that? You see that green line on my chart, that green uptrend? That's our trend line from the October bottom that we've been talking about for the past few weeks. That's the same trend line that was tapped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different times here, December into January 2023. That's the same trend line that we came down to 2 times last week on Wednesday and Thursday, and we bounced off of. That's the same trend line that we cracked below here on Friday. And we came up to it several times and hit it as resistance, as a retest, right? We went from the bullish side to the bearish side of that trend line on Friday. Not only that, we fell below Wednesday and Thursday's low of day. Not only that, we cracked below and fell below the 50 SMA that was holding this down as resistance all day, right? We were bearish on Friday. We played put contracts for 100% on Friday. Absolutely crushed it. Garrett inside the chat, 100%. You know, traders over on YouTube, 100%, right? We absolutely nailed our analysis, and we were bearish on Friday. And depending on how we open today, we could have been bearish again. But here's the deal. What did we just do this morning, right? There's a few things that we did. Number one, we got back above that 50 SMA. Now we want to see the 50 SMA hold as support, okay? We got above Friday's high of day. We got back above Wednesday and Thursday's low of day. Those are support levels. Those are resistance levels. Those are valid levels. So again, the 50 SMA, we're above it as support. We're back above Friday's high of day. That's a support level. We're back above those 2 low points from last week, Wednesday and Thursday's low of day, right? That's support. We're back above that multi-month uptrend, right? That key uptrend. We got back above it today. And to top it all off, we had just broke this downtrend from the 17th of February, right? So again, not last week, but the week before, we had this downtrend that you see was hit 1, 2, a couple times here. And then this morning, it was hit several times. We're breaking that slight downtrend. So I don't know how many more things that I could say that suggest we are short-term bullish right now at this point in time. We broke back above every key level of support that we cracked below on Friday and saw those levels holding us down as resistance. We're back above those levels. So we are going to be short-term bullish at this point in time, above the 50 SMA as support, above Wednesday and Thursday's low of day as support. And those lows were right around like 397. Friday's high a day, right around 397. So you got 397 key support at this point in time. That's also right around the 50 SMA as support. On top of that, that green line that you guys see, that's our multi-month uptrend. As long as we stay above that as support as well, I think that we see a slight grind back up to a couple different levels to the upside to be playing some calls. Well, first things first, we got to get above 400 bucks. But once we get above 400, if we get above 400, these are going to be your targets to the upside for the duration of this week. Assuming nothing else happens in the market and we see the markets come crashing on down, I do believe we see a slight bounce and we see a little bit of follow through the rest of this week. We don't have CPI, PPI, the Fed speaking. We don't have anything to really be concerned about this week from an economic standpoint that could really throw the markets on off. So I do believe we could see the SPY back up towards around 404.11. Okay, and then I do believe we could start filling a couple of these gaps up to 406, and the gap here, very narrow gap, right around 408. And yes, I do think by the end of this week, we could see the SPY filling those gaps, coming up into some of these key levels of resistance. By the end of the week, slow mover, slow grind, not tons of volatility that we've seen over the last couple of weeks. I would say it's going to be a little bit of a slower moving market, slight grind to the upside. Again, 404.11, 406, then 408.26 to fill that little gap. As long as we stay above those levels that we just discussed, the 50 SMA, 397, and that multi-month uptrend. Okay, and especially back above 400, we want to be playing some calls. Any point in time we fall below 400, you need to be on high alert that if we start cracking that trend line again, we're going to flip immediately bearish. We're going to start thinking about playing puts for that drop on back down below the 50 SMA, back down to the 200 SMA, so on and so forth. But I don't want to get into that. I only got about a minute to go. We will definitely talk about that if and when the time comes, if we need to switch our thesis and our analysis from short-term bullish to, again, bearish, right? But right now, over 400, you're looking to play calls into those upper levels of resistance. 404.11, your first level. I wouldn't say it's your first level. I would say this high a day, 402.21 is going to be your first profit-taking level, then 404.11, then 406, and then 408.26. Okay, and again, you guys know why we're bullish, why we're looking to play calls above all of those key levels of support. All right, I don't have time to talk about Alphabet. Get inside of levels. Check out the analysis. We have a great game plan today. Roblox. Check out Roblox inside of levels. Ladies and gentlemen, inside of chat, great analysis. This stock has some great potential. And then check out the game plan and check out the analysis here on Tesla. Again, traders inside of chat, inside of levels, where I break down our game plans every single morning with levels, with screenshots, with entries and stops. Make sure you guys are all set, ready to rock, and make sure you guys are prepared. All right, but right now I definitely want to be watching the SPY here out of the gate, right around this $400 level. Okay, and then I definitely want to be checking out, Alphabet based on the game plan that we have, Roblox based on that game plan, and then Tesla based on the game plan. Okay, give the market about 10 to 15 minutes to get a sense of direction here. I would say give the market about 10 to 15 minutes, get a sense of direction, and then we'll trade accordingly. All right, don't forget about AI. AI has a lot of great potential to be a big mover today and this week. Don't forget about BBAI. If AI starts to rip and run, you best believe BBAI could move off sympathy as well. You got LHDX as your number one penny stock at this point in time with 63-cent support. Then you got that back burner sleeper that could move today. That's going to be VRAR. All right. So again, let's have an awesome day, traders. Let's have a fun day and let's have a profitable day. And team, let's end the week strong and profitable. Let's end the month. The month strong and profitable. We got 2 days to go. And I definitely want to add some profits to the bottom line and carry this momentum into March. All right, so we are all set, ready to rock and roll. Again, good morning, everybody. Love you all. Let's crush it. So I would say that the SPY could pull back to 397, right? 397 is going to be Wednesday and Thursday's low of day. It's going to be Friday's high of day, number one. Number two, it's right at the 50 SMA. Number three, it's right around that trend line. So at the lowest, you would want to see the SPY go. At the lowest is 397. 397 is like the absolute lowest. That's the line in the sand. Honestly, it shouldn't go that low because the trend line is at like 397.50. Right? If we do drop on off to start the day, to come back into that trend line before we bounce, like that's at like 397.50 to 398. But at the lowest, you would want to see this go to still be convinced we could bounce to play calls, would be that 397 level. Right now, resistance is simply at $400. Right? That's it. Got $400 resistance. You have downtrend resistance as well. So if we can't break 400 here, if we can't break this downtrend, we could look for some short-term puts down into those key support levels, get out of those put contracts, wait to see if we hold, wait to see if we bottom, then play those calls as we are short-term bullish based on the analysis that we have. But again, we could definitely look to take some put contracts into those lower support levels before we get ready to really start getting into those calls. There's definitely money to be made, long or short. Roblox looks great. Remember that gap fill strategy from last week? We were looking for Roblox to come down for the gap fill bounce. Look at that. Gap fill bounce, holding the 200 SMA, holding the trend line. This thing looks fan-freaking-tastic. I'm liking Roblox right now at this point in time. I definitely think Roblox could start to bounce on back up to fill some of these gaps. Like, I like Roblox for a swing trade, guys. I definitely think we have room back into the low 40s. First, you're on Roblox, maybe all the way back up to fill this gap between 43 and 43.50. So tons of potential here on Roblox as long as we hold 36. As long as we hold 36, great potential here with Roblox. I like this one even for a swing trade, guys. Looks fantastic. That analysis was posted for you guys too. Just like Tesla analysis was posted, and then Alphabet analysis was posted as well. Right now, watching LHDX for you guys here. As we get more of a sense of direction here out of the SPY and all that good stuff, just kind of watching LHDX above the 64-cent level. Above 64 cents, looking to see if it squeezes above 70, back up to 80, and then 86. Here on LHDX. Again, LHDX at this point in time. Looking to see if we start to get that bounce, and look to see if we maybe start to get a little bit of a pop here back above 70 cents. Maybe you guys can start to lock in a couple of bucks here to start your day. Looking at the SPY, not too much with the SPY right now. Nothing with VRAR. You don't have any action with AI or BBAI just yet at this point in time. And we really don't have anything yet on the SPY. Right? So just not too much yet with the SPY. So, you know, we're going to look to see if the SPY comes back into this downtrend here, right? The SPY back into this downtrend to play some put contracts, ladies and gentlemen. As long as we're below 400 bucks, we can come back into this downtrend, hit it as a resistance, and reject. All right, that would be the third point as well. So high watch the SPY for put entries off this downtrend. And as long as we stay below 400, I think you guys have some great potential. So right now, I definitely want to be watching the SPY into this downtrend for a small account trade, guys. We'll be trading daily expirations, right? We'll be trading the daily expiration on the small account put contracts. right around the 30 delta. So you're going to be looking at the 398 puts, the 398 put contracts here on the SPY. Okay, here's my P&L up on the live stream for you guys. Again, we're looking at today's expiration, February 27th, 398 put contracts here on the SPY off that downtrend if we get there.